Hey folks, Twisha Christian here. I just want to talk about Zion Oil and Gas here for a little bit. The last update that we received was on July 26th, and currently Zion Oil and Gas is sitting around 31 cents. Now, as you can see, over the last month, since we haven't received any news and then we had a little bit of negative news, you can see that the price has dropped here down to 31 cents. So right now, that's all we're doing is just waiting on the news. I told you guys that the week of June the 6th would have been the end of their drilling plan. And so I expected some kind of information to come out in June, and I definitely expected information to come out in July. We did get an update, and that particular update basically led us to believe that there was some major issue that happened, that it's causing them to extend the drilling schedule. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read a part here from the Zion Oil and Gas website. Now, we have moved forward with adjusted drilling parameters that enable us to keep shale integrity as we move toward our zones of interest. Despite our extended drilling schedule, Zion Oil remains committed to doing this work properly and safely, and with patience get closer to the finish line. Something happened between their last update, which was on the previous update, May 19th, which was only about 2.5 weeks away from their 5-month goal that they set for themselves for their drilling schedule. And that one said they're basically on time, that there wasn't any delays, and they were actually drilling much faster there for several days. So as of now, it's been 2 months since their 5-month plan, so that means they're 2 months over their drilling plan. So that's pretty significant, considering on May 19th how close they were to their 5-month drilling schedule. Now, one of the things that I do want to talk about as far as Zion Oil, one of the things to consider, folks, when they are going to release this news, because I don't know when, I'm going to assume that the next update is going to be positive since it's been 2 months past their drilling plan. So with the positive news that we should receive, one of the things to consider is how are they going to release this news? Are they going to release it, over the weekend, like on a Sunday, or Monday early morning? Zion Oil is now trading in the OTC market, so there's no pre-market. So if they release this information at 5 a.m. in the morning, and you're still able to catch Zion Oil at 31 cents or 32 cents after the positive news is released. So that's all going to play a part in, at least in how I trade Zion Oil. And the other thing to consider is, folks, especially as we approach September 6th, Rosh Hashanah, usually tensions are very high during this time period. So we are less than a month away from it beginning. And tensions over there in the Middle East always inflame around that time. Israel just went through basically an 11-day attack on, the tunnel systems and targets and all that. And they came to a ceasefire. We also know that there is a shadow war going on between Iran and Israel. That this target they attacked recently was an oil tanker. So obviously they were specifically targeting an oil tanker. So that has concerns, and when Zion Oil makes this announcement, so that's one reason why that we need to pray, especially for their protection, because any new oil discovery is going to be a threat to the region, and it's definitely going to be a threat to its immediate neighbors. So most definitely, we just need to pray, and that they will be guided, Zion Oil will be guided in how they release this information, and hopefully the news that we do receive will be positive news. Now, if they do release positive news during trading hours, it's going to be very difficult to catch, opposed to the other, whether they release the news like on Sunday or Monday before the OTC markets open to where you might be able to have a chance to actually get some at a cheaper price once that positive news is released. The other thing is that if they do release the news during trading hours, it's going to be very difficult, I would imagine, just to go ahead and pick up some unless you see the news alert either in the email or text alert or however you guys get the alerts, and then you're able to go in immediately and try to purchase some before it skyrockets. So that's just the way I am looking at it. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Just like all stocks, they do go on runs. I've seen a lot of stocks over the last 6 months that go on runs, and they do come back down. And so I don't know what kind of other information they may have when they do release this and how high it will go. And I've shared with you folks that this is only their first well. If this well is viable, I don't think that it's going to be enough to push the stock to what a lot of people are claiming, $40 and $50. Now, it's very possible that it could. I'm not saying that it can't, but you have to keep in mind that this is their first well. They're going to still need to raise money to continue to dig more wells and be on that same playing field as some of the other big oil companies. And if you look at the prices of some of these bigger oil companies that have been there for a long time, I have to think logically in this and say, okay, what is a realistic price that Zion Oil will have with one well that they're able to extract oil, and what are they going to have to go through as far as the finances in raising the money? Of course, they'll have to sell off some stocks, and it's very well that they could also receive government grants and funding too as well. That could happen, and that could be very big. I don't know how Israel works over there with businesses like oil companies, but that might be a possibility. That once they announce that they have oil, maybe they will qualify for some major, grants or whatever the case, to expand and build upon their discovery. So, realistically, what I think and what I believe, that it may very well hit that $5 mark, but I also believe that it will also come back down. So a lot of people, they celebrate when it goes up by 30 or 40 cents, and then they have negative emotions when it comes down. So if you are planning to invest in this company in the way that I'm trading it, I know that whatever peak that it reaches, I will be able to take the profits that I have, and when it does come back down, I am able to actually put in more. I will actually be able to gain more stocks than what I had, because I believe in the long-term goal of Zion Oil and Gas. Whenever this happens, I'm pretty sure that, if it does go up to the $5 mark, and then over a period of a few months, we may see it come back down. You may see it come back down to $3. You may see it come back down to $2. And there's going to be a lot of emotions and all that. So, but at the same time, that you have to know and understand that this is a long-term investment. And I don't see any shame in, trading the stock that way, because folks, the hedge funds have been making millions and millions of dollars off of you guys, and all the shorts that have come in and the fails to deliver over the years. And going back, and I've shared this in videos, how the hedge funds, some of these hedge funds, I showed you the articles when nothing was going on with Zion Oil and Gas. They were pumping Zion Oil and Gas. They were pumping it up through news articles, and then the hedge funds were shorting the stock, and they really brought it down. So in sharing that, to me, everybody else has become wealthy trading the stock, except for those people that are just holding. Some of you have bought maybe 10,000, and maybe you bought 10,000 at 80 cents or 70 cents or even at $1, whatever the case. If you're truly supportive, don't be afraid to sell, and then don't be afraid to buy back in. But that's just me, folks. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but that's just how I'm going to trade this stock. Because you know what, folks, in order for Zion Oil to raise money, they actually have to sell the stock, which means somebody has to buy the stock. So when they need to raise millions of dollars, when they sell off the amount that they need for the next 6 months, that could be very detrimental to the stock itself. And so people who are investing, if the stock goes up to $5 and Zion Oil starts to, maybe start to sell off some stock, that means there are going to be people that are going to be buying all the way down. And hopefully it's the hedge funds that do that and not yourself. But this is just me and how I am trading the stock. I believe in it. I believe in the future of Israel and them being one of the main exporters of oil in the world. So anyways, folks, that's all I have for today. So we're just waiting on the news, and we'll see what happens from there. So, folks, I thank you for listening. God bless. And with that being said, Twisted Christian out.